Welcome to today's Crib Notes singing session. Jake is going to be along in a little bit to start our new song with you, which is an American folk song called Fare Thee Well. If you'd like to get a score or the lyrics for this, you can find that at cribnotes.co.uk. And you've got a little while to do that while we start with a warm up. So let's start with just a really big yawn and stretch and make some noise. So we're just going to go. Good. And then let's just get our shoulders moving a bit. So nice big circles going backwards. And then the other way, going forwards. Good. And then just arms out to the side. I don't have very much space for this. Hopefully you've got a bit more. And just starting to make some circles and getting bigger and bigger. And then going the other way as well. I'm in danger of knocking over water, coffee, or bashing my hand on the mantelpiece, so I hope you guys have a little bit more space. And then bringing it smaller and smaller, that's it. Good, and just let it go. And then just looking over one shoulder. Nice deep breaths while you do this, all the way down into your abdomen. And releasing back to centre. And looking over the other shoulder. Breathing right the way down into your lower abdomen. Really feel that move. And release back to centre. And chin to chest. Nice gentle stretch in the back of your neck. And handily at this point you can actually see down to your lower abdomen to check your breath. So do that. And release. And then just a gentle stretch looking up. So don't crunch the back of your neck here, just a little lift. And releasing back to centre. Brilliant. And we're just going to finish the sort of physical warm up with another big yawn and stretch. And I want it to be twice as big as last time. So really go for that even bigger, even more noise. And give everything a little bit of a shake. Great. And then we're going to go shh, 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 you guys. Shh, shh, shh. And you could put one hand on your lower abdomen and just check it's moving. So it should be moving in when you make noise and then recoil reaction, letting go at the end. And that is your in-breath. So shh, 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 you guys. Shh, 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 on zzz, 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 on zzz, 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 on vuv, 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 on vuv, 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 vuv. Good. I'm going to mix and match a few noises and rhythms now. I'll start by doing it so that you have a space to copy what I'm doing. But then I might start overlapping them, so you have to be making a noise and listening to the next one at the same time. So let's just give that a go. I'll start with some easy ones. So zzz, 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 Good. Okay. So just to be clear, if I do two at once, you should be doing the first one while I'm doing the second one. Okay, so if I do, while I do the, you're repeating zzz. Just a bit of a multitasking challenge there, okay? I won't do too many in a row. Let's do that again. So you're always repeating. I'll give you one noise, one rhythm, and you're always repeating that, even if I then do something else straight away. Okay. So. Good. Well done, guys. Okay, we're going to use an sound. So we often use this on a slide. We're going to mix a couple of exercises here. So what we're going to do is go. So we're going to do a nice slide up. And this is all down your nose. We're going to use a G to flip it out of your mouth instead and come down a scale on a vowel. So to start with, we'll do an E, but I might change that up as we go. So let's just start by going and just practice that slide. Okay, ready? And good. And this is really good for just getting your airflow going nicely without putting too much pressure on the sound. Okay, so that's why we use this one quite a lot, or why I use this one quite a lot. So now let's do key, you guys, key, excellent. And now we'll put them together. So key, and again. Awesome. So a couple of things on the you can just let your jaw be nice and relaxed, and then the E just comes straight from that. So it's a tiny change of your tongue and not much else. So see how little movement there can be, but still keeping the breath flow going. Let's give that a try. And again. One more. And now we're going to switch it to the vowel to an air. So we're going to have just like that. Let's do that again. And one more like this. Great. So really give me a nice hard G to make the change between the nasal, which just if you want to experiment with that, if you try pinching your nose while you're doing it, it's quite entertaining. And you literally can't make any sound if you pinch your nose. So give that a go just for fun. And we're going to have a nice hard G to make the change so that it comes out of your mouth. So it's quite a good way to check, because if you're allowing any air down your nose once you move onto the vowel, you'll also be able to tell. So like this. You can hear that that's still a bit nasal, and just pinching your nose kind of helps to tell. So using a nice strong G actually helps to get all the sound out of your mouth and not down your nose. Okay, so have a little play with that. See if you're making that change from totally nasal to totally not really well. As always, I'd love to hear from you on the chat. Know how that's going. See if that makes any sense. See if you notice anything interesting. Please do give us a shout out. It's always really nice to kind of have that interaction and know how you're getting on. Know what your discoveries are as we go. So let's just do a few more of these. Nga this time. Let's go from here. Ready? And Nga. Two more. Last one. Excellent, well done, guys. The other reason why this exercise is really nice and useful, the just really helps to kind of smoothly go across different bits of your vocal register, or different registers. It's a really nice way to just let your body get used to how to do that smoothly and easily. And I should probably also say, since I've just been telling you to pinch your nose and stuff, please do wash your hands before you do anything else in the current circumstances. That is obviously the sensible thing to do. I'm going to hand over to Jake now to do start our new song, Fare Thee Well. If you haven't yet got scores and lyrics and you want them, you can find those at cribnotes.co.uk. I will see you again on Friday. Jake, over to you.
Thanks, Helena. Actually, I had a quick question about what you were just doing, the nasal and non-nasal question. So when you're doing those vowels, do you want them to be entirely free of nasal sound?
Yes, ideally.
Okay.
I suspect that your question is going into the difference between different types of resonance. So we want a kind of forward resonance, but we don't want it to be nasal. So if I do, I'll give you 3 demonstrations and you can tell me if this is where you were going with it. So if I do a nasal sound, it's going to be like this. And that feels very solidly here for me, but I won't be able to get it to the back of a room very easily, because it's a lot of it is just kind of here and it's not going to go forwards. If I send the sound out of my mouth, but I don't have that kind of pingy resonance on it, it will sound something like so that's not nasal, but it's kind of feels like it's going backwards. It's very stuck in the back of my mouth. And so it's not nasal, but it's also not going to carry. So what we want is the kind of bright resonance on it that will let it carry, but that actually isn't nasal. So that would be and so that one of the 3 that I've just done, that is the one that is going to get furthest in the room with most efficiency, least excess effort from me. So efficient effort. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, well, you can definitely hear the difference, I think.
Cool.
Yeah, yeah. Um, Good. Oh,
Awesome.
thanks. That's very interesting. All right. So we're going to start a new song today. This is a lovely American folk song called Fare Thee Well. You can find scores and lyrics at cribnotes.co.uk if you don't have a sheet in front of you already. I'm going to sing you the first verse and then we'll learn it. It goes. If I had wings like Noah's dove, I'd fly the river to the one I love. Fare thee well, my honey, fare thee well. Okay, that's the first verse. I should say, actually, this song, I'm calling it Fare Thee Well, but it's actually also quite widely known as Dink's song because it was apparently first recorded by a folk song collector in 1909, being sung by an African American woman named Dink as she did her laundry by the banks of the river. So, big thank you to her for teaching the world this song. It was also used in the Coen brothers movie Inside Llewyn Davis, which is a story about a failed folk singer. Excellent film, although I did find it a little close to home, if I'm honest. So, as usual, in this song, we're in 3 parts, voice 1, 2 and 3. That bit that I just sung, that was voice 1 in the first verse, voice 1. So, you have the melody. Normally I say voice 1 high, voice 2 middle, voice 3 low. For this one I would say voice 1 high, voice 2 high-ish, voice 3 low. So if you really don't like singing up high, then go for voice 3. Although, it's nice to push yourself as well if you normally sing voice 2. I think we should all, even though it's that bit that I just sung, even though that's voice 1, I think we should all learn it, and then later on I'll go through voices 2 and 3. So let's do this line by line. If I had wings like Noah's dove, it goes. If I had wings like Noah's dove. Let's just do that. 2, 3. If I had wings like Noah's dove, it goes on. I'd fly the river to the one I love. I'd fly the river. 2, 3. I'd fly the river to the one I love. Going on. Fare thee well, my honey, fare thee well. That line. Fare thee well, my honey, fare thee well. And there's something very interesting there in that last phrase. My honey, fare thee well. That fare. It's flat, that note. You would expect it. Normally, in kind of regular harmony, it would go, my honey, fare thee well. But you're flattening the fare, so it's fare thee well. You can hear how it sounds a little bit bluesy. Let's just try that line. Fare thee well, my honey, and fare thee well, my honey, fare thee well. Good. Let's go back to the start. It goes. If I had wings like Noah's dove, I'd fly the river to the one I love. Let's do that whole bit. If, 2, 3. If I had wings like Noah's dove, I'd fly the river to the one I love. Then it goes, fare thee well, my honey, fare thee well. That line, fare, and fare thee well, my Good. All right, one more time, the whole thing. If, 2, 3. If I had wings like Noah's dove, I'd fly the river to the one I love. Fare thee well, my honey, fare thee well. Good. Okay, so that's voice 1. But it's applicable also to other parts later on in the song, okay? But for now, let's have a look at, stay on the first verse, and we'll have a look at voice 2. Voice 2. So, you've got all the way through this voice 2, and you come in slightly after the word wings is sung in voice 1. So voice 1 goes, if I had wings, and then you're in on that note, and it's yeah, let's just try that voice 2. So I'll play on the piano what voice 1 has. And then again, voice 1 goes. And it's giving you your note again, because that's your note, and it's that's what you have, okay? So again, I'll play what voice 1 has, and I'll sing what voice 2 has. Then voice 1 goes, and you have. Let's just do that last phrase. And. So let's do voice 2 again from the start of this verse. Just repeat after me. It goes. Let's do that. And 1. It goes on. Let's have that phrase. And 1. We go on. It goes. That phrase. And 1. Good, okay. Let's do it all again, voice 2, and this time I won't repeat any lines, okay? I'll just keep on going. That's your first note. And 1. Good. Okay, this time I'm going to do it again. This time I'm going to play the little cues that you have from what voice 1 is singing. Because voice 1 always, it starts its line before voice 2 comes in each time. So, wings. Yeah, so I'll play on the piano what voice 1 has. But I'm singing voice 2. That's voice 2. So I'm going to move on now to voice 3. Voice 3, you're all on one note, one vitally important note, I should say, for most of this verse. Down there. And you work with voice 2. So when voice 2 comes in with its you come in also on So you'll hear voice 3, you'll hear voice 1 go, and you're in. voice 1 goes. And you're in. You're in. So you've just got a little movement at the end there. Let's just do that last and 1. Good. Okay then, voice 3 I mean. Let's do it from the start. I'll play what voice 1 has, I'll sing voice 3. So that's voice 3, okay? I think I will just recap each part in turn and then we'll do it as a loop, okay? So I'll do voice 1 to begin with. Voice 1. If I had wings, 3, 4, and if I had wings like Noah's dove, I'd fly the river to the one I love. Fare thee well, my honey, fare thee well. That's voice 1. This is voice 2. Again, I'll play what voice 1 does this time. Good. Voice 3 now. Okay. So we're going to do a loop now, and normally when I create a loop out of these 3 voices, I'll go 3, 2, 1. I'll build up from the bottom, but I think what I'm going to do this time, because voice 1 is the kind of reference for voices 2 and 3, I'm going to do voice 1 to begin with, and then I'll do voice 3 and then voice 2. Okay, so I'm doing voice 1, then I'm building up from the bottom. 1, 3, 2. Okay. So voice 1 to begin with. If so it's after the 3. 1, 2. If I had wings like Noah's dove, I'd fly the river to the one I love. Fare thee well, my honey, fare thee well. If I had... Okay, so that's been recorded. This time I'll do voice 3, and voice 3, your note is down there. 1, 2. If I had wings like Noah's dove, I'd fly the river to the one I love. Fare thee well, my honey, fare thee well. Okay, and now voice 2. So voice 2, your note is up there. So we still got voice 3 down there. And voice 2. If I had wings like Noah's dove, I'd fly the river good. So now I'm just going to recap. I think voice 1 is probably okay, but I'm just going to turn the loop down and I'm going to recap voices 2 and 3 by playing the piano along with the loop, okay? So voice 3 to begin with. 1, 2. If I had wings like Noah's dove, I'd fly the river to the one I love. Fare thee well, my honey, fare thee well. Alright, I'll do the same thing for voice 2 now. Voice 2. Is your note. 1, 2. If I had wings like Noah's dove, I'd fly the river to the one I love. Fare thee well, my honey, fare thee well. Okay, good. All right. So just as a last thing then, let's just sing through. I'm going to take the metronome off so we get more of a sense of, singing it as a choir all together. So your notes again are if I had wings, that's voice 1, and then voice 2 is and voice 3 is 1, 2. If I had wings like Noah's dove, I'd fly the river to the one I love. Fare thee well, my honey, fare thee well. Okay, good, well done. Great start on that song. On Friday, we'll do another pop song as usual, but we'll be back with more of this song on Monday next week, okay? So see you again soon, everyone, and keep singing. Bye for now.